Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm joined by Judith Campo, and her company is called Right for Her Scarves, and I'm very happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You've got, you know, I'm just going to say that you have an important message, and you have it written right here on these scarves.
I do.
That is a really interesting idea. Tell me a little bit about how this all started.
Well, it started just over a year ago. My mother-in-law, the year before, had been diagnosed with cancer. And so I wanted to send her something because we had just moved here to Utah, and she lived back in Michigan. And so I wanted to send her something that she would be able to have that would, you know, that she would know that I love her and was thinking of her and wish I could be there. But I'm not a very crafty person, so it was kind of a tall order to come up with something that she could have with her. And so I thought about a time in my life that I had struggled with something not quite as cancer, but devastating to my life. I had been raped about 20 years ago.
Wow.
And one of the things that I did to get beyond that point in my life was my doctor had me write a note to myself. And the point of that note was just positive affirmations that I could carry in my pocket every single day. And so every day I'd put that pocket in my note, and throughout the day I would touch my pocket, put change in it, whatever, and I would think about that message. And over time I noticed that I gained back my self-confidence, and I started to be happy again, and I knew how much it made a difference in my life. And so I wanted something like that for my mother-in-law. I wanted her to be reminded constantly, so I thought about a scarf. That if she had it wrapped around her, not only she'd have the message with her, but then she'd also be wrapped in my love, and she loved it.
Really, really cool. I obviously, the devastation part of being raped. I worked at a rape recovery center for a while, where it was my job to talk to girls who had been raped, and that was I just remember, and I was very young at the time. I remember how difficult those conversations were, but I do remember, we often talked about totems, I guess, which is kind of what that is, essentially, right? Or, in some religions, the Jewish religion, sometimes it's a stone or different things that you might carry with you to give you some peace. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting idea. So this is sort of a totem, isn't it? Yeah,
it's something that, when you have that constant reminder all day long, and every time I touch my scarf or every time I see my reflection in a mirror, I not only see my outward beauty, but then that message runs through my mind. And when you have positive, thoughts running through your mind constantly throughout the day, it just changes who you are, what you think of yourself, and how you're going to react to situations, and it just really does make a change in you.
Well, especially when you consider that these things that that you were dealing with, that your family was dealing with, these are things that have that ability on their own to constantly be in your head.
Yeah.
And to be able to have something you have to rise to quite a level to counteract that.
Yes.
And that's what that's really what you're able to do when you can have that, as you said, with you at all times.
Exactly.
Wow. Let's talk about some of the other scarves that you have here and some of the other messages. I'm interested. You talk about some of your favorites, perhaps?
Well, this is one of the scarves, the I am quote, that I kind of my favorite, because I have a daughter, teenage daughter, and when she goes to school each day, I put a little note in her pocket or in her lunchbox, so that you just tell her that she's
good
beautiful.
Mom thing to do.
Like just one of those mom things to do. And so, but after lunch, she wipes her mouth and throws it in the trash. And so I was like, well, that doesn't work very well. So then I thought, well, if I could put all of those things in a scarf, then she'll have it with her all day long.
That's a brilliant idea, because something, I think about what little girls, and I've got a little girl too, a 9-year-old.
Yes.
And what they deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
What girls will do to each other.
Yes.
Is a little hard to wrap your head around at that age.
Yeah.
I mean, already.
Kids can be mean.
They're mean to each other, exactly.
Yes.
And so I want her to know these things. That's a brilliant idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to read some of them, if that's okay. I'm amazing. I'm strong. I'm beautiful. I'm kind. That's a good one to remember. I am of great worth. I am honest. I am love. I am a daughter of my God. Daughter of God. Wow, this is brilliant.
And
Beautiful.
one of the things that I had on my original note, people always ask me, what did I have on my note in my pocket?
Yeah, I suppose that is a good question.
And I have really never shared it with anyone, because it was a personal note to myself. But one thing I did have was that I was of great worth, and that was something that I really needed to relearn to myself.
Well, that's something that is stolen from you
Yes,
in a rape.
and that was really my self-confidence and my worth of a soul was really just struggling. And so when I put that on my daughter's scarf, I really want her to know that. I want her to know that from a young age, that she has great worth and that she can be anything.
This wasn't, at the time when you did this for family, this wasn't really something you thought of as a business, was it?
No, this has taken on a whole new life. I did it as a gift, and it was a one-time thing. And after my mother-in-law passed away, I brought home her scarf, and then it sat in our bedroom on my nightstand for a while. And then my husband was like, "All right, what are you going to do with this? This is something that really helped my mom, and so you need to run with this." And so all of a sudden, Right for Her Scarves was born. And so
Wow.
1 year, it's been going great. And it's kind of exciting because we've changed so much.
Right.
From the beginning, we were learning a lot. And in 1 year, we're now at the point that we can give back. And so we've started up doing charities. And so
In only a year, that's quite impressive,
I know.
I have to say.
I have a good husband.
Indeed. Well, I bet I have to say, I'm sure he had a lot of peace when his mom passed away to have that scarf in your home. You said in your bedroom.
Yes.
I bet that was peace for him a little bit, wasn't it?
It was, and because I got to spend the last 2 weeks looking after her before she passed away. And so our little conversations and stuff that we would have, and she said how much it meant to her and how much she would either wear the scarf or have it on her pillow, and how much that message just resonated with her. And it really changed her thought of that she was okay with her situation, and
Wow.
that was okay with what was going to happen. And so
That takes quite a bit to get there.
It does.
So I can only imagine. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm excited that we can start giving back.
Yeah, so you're doing some philanthropic parts
We are.
of this
So
too. So talk about that.
On my website, people have an option to donate $10 more on top of their purchase. And then every time somebody donates that $10, a scarf will go to either a woman or a girl at a cancer center, or currently seeking treatment, or at an abuse clinic or something like that. Like some woman or girl that is going through therapy, counseling.
We have plenty of that out
Yes,
there.
there are
The
enough
violence
women.
towards women and the things that they deal with is such a shame in this country, let alone the rest of the world.
Exactly.
I laud at you for that. What a great idea. That is brilliant.
Yes.
It is not the only place you can get these, though. You're involved in a couple of there are a couple opportunities in Sandy relatively soon too, where you can purchase scarves.
Yes, we just are in the process of Huntsman Cancer Institute is opening up their gift shop to us, and so
Oh, wow.
they're going to start
So
selling them
downtown, there you go.
Yes, and then we have shows that we're starting to expos and stuff that we're starting to sell our scarves at, and it's been kind of nice to finally get my name out there, and people are starting to call me and say, "Bring them here," and so.
The name of the company is interesting. I like it, but tell people how you ended up sort of sticking to it. It's interesting.
It's kind of hard to come up with a business name, and I
Right.
wasn't really sure. It was kind of just, 3 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I was like, Right for Her. And it just was very inspired that I knew that's what I needed. And of course, you write it down 10 million times and like, are you sure this is going to be okay?
Right.
And it kind of sounded funny sometimes, and then it just kind of felt right. It just felt like it was a message written for her, and it's right. It's the right thing to do.
It's doing well by doing good. I understand that's kind of
Yes.
a theme you guys sort of run in your head or in the company in general.
Yeah, it's being able to help others by doing a good thing, and when you can, spend a little bit more and help another girl that's going through a troubling time to look good, you fashionably and them, mentally and spiritually and everything, then you've got to be doing something right.
Oh, clearly. The other thing that you've obviously done right is you've managed to recover. Do you have words of inspiration of your own to someone who's going through something like that or has gone through a situation like a rape or abuse? Do you have something that you say to in that situation?
That is, I get asked
It's very
that.
personal, but
It is,
I'm curious.
and I hate the word "get over it" because you never get
Right.
over it. And starting up this business 20 years later, I had a lot of reoccurring nightmares.
I'm sure.
And having to tell my children, dark skeletons from my past,
And
just was not a great situation.
the fear of having a daughter and worried about
yes,
something happening.
and I'm
has
probably
gotta
a
be
little
off the charts.
overprotective as
Sure.
a mom, but time does heal if you're working at it. I find that because it took me about 2 years before I finally sought help. And for that 2 years, I struggled greatly. And I think that if women will work at moving forward, of finding the great things in life and realizing that it's not all lousy, that there is going to be another day that's going to be sunshine and rainbows and roses that
Hopefully most of our life is
yes,
that, isn't
hopefully.
it? That's what we
but,
would want.
After a situation of when you're devastated, it really is hard to see some of those good things.
Yeah, you end up in a dark place, as they say.
You become a little bitter, and I think that just knowing that time will heal, but that you have to work at it. It's not something that's just going to easily come. That you just really have to put a lot of positive thoughts in your head and make positive steps forward, that you can not get over it, but you can get through it, and that you
can recover.
And you can define yourself as something different, that you can be something better. You can help someone else.
The world as a whole, as I said, can be a very scary place for girls. When you look at this, what you've done here, and as you're putting out these messages to the world, and you really are responsible for that. That must be kind of a little gratifying. Even when someone else writes a message, it's still you with the medium of this to do that. Do you recognize the possibility of what that of how you're shaping the future for women at all? Does that hit home?
It does, and I kind of have like that little aha moment of, oh my gosh, I've gone to events where I've gotten to speak, and the women that come up to my booth after and have just hugged me and have thanked me because they've never said anything about a situation that they went through. It's just so rewarding, and it's just that I can help even just one person is just kind of I'm happy with that.
You're touching a lot more than one, clearly.
I hope so. I know that it's made a difference in my life. It made a difference in my mother-in-law, and it makes a difference in my daughters. And I guess that's all a mom can ask for.
Absolutely. I have to ask you, the fabrics of these are just tremendous. What are you using for these?
I found a supplier. They get their scarves from India, and it's a pashmina.
Makes sense.
And it was a trial by error of trying to find the right scarves, and I basically went with touch. What I felt good on the neck and felt soft to the touch, and I also have silk blend scarves, and as long as they feel good, I'll print on them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you like something not scratchy and itchy around the neck. So.
Well, I think it all starts with feeling, and that's what you're after here is transference of these feelings to someone, and you want to do that with something
exactly
just as soft.
Yes.
What a great touch you have here, Judith.
Thank you.
It's just beautiful. If people want to find these, where do they go?
Right now,
website?
The website is www.rightforherscarves.com. And then soon Huntsman Cancer Institute will also have the scarves available there, and they have different colors available there. We're doing our own line of colors with them. So lots of options to choose from, and then we're hoping to soon get into retail and other places. But
I'm sure we're going to find you in lots of places very soon.
So.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for being here and sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
I know that's difficult to do, but we certainly do appreciate it. I know there's a lot of women and young ladies out there that are inspired by you, and what a tremendous thing. So hopefully these messages of love that so many of us do have for you get to you, and certainly a great place to go to get one for your family.
Thank you so much.
And thank you again. All right. Well, we will be back here in just a moment with more on the Mountain Morning Show right after these messages.